All right. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I don't know who's all going to be watching tonight. I can't sleep again, so I figure I'd get on here, just waste some of my time till I get ready to fall asleep. What can we talk about tonight? Let's see. Let's see how to get a poll started. What do I want to do a poll about? Let's see. I remember last time I was on here, I had a bunch of people from all over. A few people from Germany, a couple people in Africa. I never did look up that one country. The person said I got to go back and find that comment. Uh, I got a new light on here, trying to make it easier for people to see me. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe. But yeah, because I noticed the other video when I was trying to chop it up, it was pretty blurry. So I was trying to chop it up and upload it to other platforms because there was some good conversations in part of that stuff. So that was pretty cool. The only thing about this light clip I have that it's taking up the top part of it. Kind of, I gotta figure something out about that. Oh well. Let's see. Yeah, get that off there. So, what has people been doing? Have anybody been watching Could Have Been Love? I think that show ended last week. But yeah, everybody's talking about it right now, which I find kind of interesting. Thank you, Ken. I appreciate it. Have you watched Could Have Been Love? Now, if you have, or if anybody watched that show, I watched the season finale last week, I want to say. And I remember seeing how Drewski chose, I think her name was Bambi to win. And him choosing Bambi to win was surprising, but not surprised at the same time because personally, I think Switcheroo was the best one. Okay, clearly a troll. Yeah, anyways, call it? Switcheroo was pretty cool because she started off the show being loyal and she was the only one that didn't have a boyfriend on there, if I remember correctly. The come up wants to fight you. I don't know who Dub is. Red Rum. Is he probably for bringing a jar of peanut butter? What? Okay, clearly tonight I got all the trolls in here, so I guess that's fine. I'm not worried about it. I don't know. It's that must be somebody young. I don't know what that is. Anyways, back to what I was talking about with the whole entire could have been love thing. That when it comes to Drewski, I think he chose the wrong one. Now, Baby did have like the best. Baby did make the show more entertaining, but it was just a whole entire hygiene and the fact that she had a boyfriend on there. I don't know. I mean, let's think about it for a second. Let's see. switcheroo came on there saying she was gonna switch. I switched, snitch. Uh, she, yeah, it was a trap that she fought, and she didn't have a boyfriend. I have no idea what the people are talking about in the comments tonight. That's all right though. Since all y'all doing all this talking, where y'all from? Any country, okay? Scotland, okay, that's pretty cool. I have no idea why you're saying sorry. You can, uh, whenever you're online, you get trolls all the time. I'm not worried about it. It's just it's kind of weird. People trolling you with something that you don't know what they're talking about. Kind of makes you think they're kind of slow sometimes, but it is what it is. Let's see, Mississippi. Mississippi is one of those states that I've always been kind of on the fence about. Like I do like Biloxi. Biloxi is very fun. You have like one of the best movie theaters in the South. The casinos there are really nice. I'm talking about just Biloxi, but there's so much country mile there that it makes me be like, man, I just don't like driving through there, especially at nighttime. If I ever go to that part of Mississippi, I'm just going there and I'm gonna stay there and then leave in the morning time where it's all daylight. Filipino. So if you're a Filipino, are you from the Philippines or are you just like a Filipino in general? Just kind of curious. I just want to know that clarification there. Oh, just kidding. You're from America. You could be from America and still be Filipino. I mean, that's just what it is. Las Vegas. Las Vegas is pretty cool. I haven't been in Las Vegas in over 10 years, but the last time I was there, they were saying that you're not supposed to take showers there for too long or not drink some of the water because it's like potentially radioactive or something like that. I don't know if that's still true there now, but at the very least, if I remember correctly, at least back then, y'all didn't have a power bill, so that's pretty cool. So when you say LA, Google, are you like LA from like Los Angeles or LA from Louisiana? I didn't even see what Leon wrote originally, so I don't know. The same place Tasha K is from, if you know who she is, so from Florida. And the one thing about the state of Florida, unlike most other states, the further down south you go in Florida, the more north you go. If that makes sense. Favorite color blue? No, favorite color is not blue. It's late. I just threw on a shirt. It's like almost it's 10 something here. So with it being that late, I just didn't. I don't care. I'm not going anywhere. You got some twisted things here. Saying I appreciate the compliment, Jane. Though, are you talking about Florida water smells? Florida water does not smell. No, I will say that I've been to pretty much every single state in the United States, and there is something about Baton Rouge, Louisiana water that smells weird. I've not been in Minnesota yet. That's why I said almost every state. Let's see. The last state I went to recently was Texas. You've been going through a hard time, give you a quote or something. I guess an old school Bible quote: Weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning." There you go. I mean, old school quote, biblical reference is very true. No matter what's going to happen in your life, you'll get over it eventually. There's always going to be something better. Why are females so attractive? Because I would like to think ideally you're supposed to like females. I mean, right? Now, I don't know about Orlando. I've been there before. Orlando was fine. If you would say something like Daytona, I can understand that. I just have family in Texas. I mean, if you are in the Trump, I guess that's your personal choice. I'm assuming you're not a farmer in Minnesota, so I guess Trump doesn't impact you that badly. Benno, okay, so that thing is old. I remember when that first came out. What space movie came out? Yeah, no, my goodness, you got a lot of interesting characters here, and I swear. But if all y'all gonna take time to troll out of your night, you might as well like and subscribe. You might as well. So I guess I got a question for you guys. How do y'all feel about the pyramids that they supposedly discovered there's pillars underneath the pyramids that go into uh, large square shapes? What is the best age for marriage? There isn't a best age for marriage, if I'm being honest with you. I would say this, that if you're going to be married, I think you should be above the age of 25 personally. Um, Anything under 25, you don't really know yourself. And that's just my opinion. There's a lot of growing up to do. But yeah. I mean, if you think about it, how mature were you at the age of 21? How were you able to put somebody above yourself? Because let's be real here, a good marriage, you're going to put yourself above your partner and vice versa. You're going to make sure their needs are met and they're going to make sure your needs are met. And when you're in your early 20s, you're still kind of selfish, you're still immature. Normally, you're still just down getting out of your family's home if you're even able to move out on your own anymore. Um, it's an unfortunate time that the economy is so bad that you don't get that push into adulthood by living on your own. Even if you're just living in like a crappy apartment, you can't even afford that by yourself, really. And we're kind of in an economy in a world where it's almost you forced to be with somebody to even have something. It's kind of you can't have anything on your own anymore. It's hard to afford rent or a mortgage payment or anything like that. Let alone a car payment and insurance, everything's crazy. You had a son out of wedlock at 17. I don't know how that worked out for you. Hopefully that's working out for you good. And you have a relationship with your son. I mean, that sounds like something you may want to talk to a therapist if, you know, your girlfriend's mom. That's wow. Okay. You know, one thing I will always say is that fathers are very important. We're at a time where masculinity is like seen as a bad thing for some reason. I never understood that. Um, but yeah, you definitely always knows the difference between the households where there's a father. And I'm not talking about a stepfather that's there, but doesn't have that full respect of the actual father. If you're above age 65, that's just weird. Okay. How is he the real victim? That doesn't make any sense. How do you define a bad word? I mean, that's the real question. How do you define a bad word? But you know what? Of, uh, speaking of Diddy, did y'all see about the guy who was the owner and CEO of Abercrombie and Finch and the stuff he was charged with recently? And the interesting thing about him, unlike Diddy, he was able to get bail and go out into the public, but he was doing the exact same stuff that Diddy was accused of, except that he was drugging. I can't even say that. I'm not supposed to say that word, but he was influencing men to do stuff they didn't or naturally wanting to do, and doing crazy stuff like that. Here's the thing about the island. We all know Trump is on that list, right? So whatever list that comes out, it's gonna be redacted with anybody um, that has Trump's name on there or anybody close to him to tie him to it. Think about that for a second. There are all kinds of pictures of Trump and that man together. Interviews where Trump says he's just a nice, funny guy, etc., etc. So now that Trump is president, anything that comes about that man's island and the people that flew there, or things that may be discovered, it's going to be redacted, covered up, and destroyed. All right. Anyways, yeah. So since y'all want to talk about Diddy so much, would y'all go to one of his parties? I mean, the after party, the one that starts at 2 a.m. Well, fake world. I'm not sure if you're a man or a woman, but I think you'll probably be safer at a Cosby party. You know what the thing that's interesting about these people that were accused and arrested of this stuff? Everybody already knew about it, right? It's been in movies, TV shows, songs, Cosby, Diddy. Um, it's just crazy. Make money or blank trying. So I guess you're a 50 Cent fan. You know, that's the one thing I have a lot of respect for 50 Cent. He went from being a street man to a corporate man. Even though he's a corporate man, he's still a troll. And all y'all having these conversations and comments and everything, I hope some of y'all subscribe. Take a look at some of my other videos too while you're at it. What time is it? India. Let's see for India. Let's see. Conspiracy. I don't think there's a such thing as a conspiracy. Because the majority of conspiracies that are out there end up being true on some level. So I guess you could say I'm more of a truth seeker than a conspiracy theorist. Nobody, thank you for that comment. Well, how about this, buddy? You tell me a conspiracy theory. Well, yeah, I believe there's a cure for everything out there, if you want me to be honest with you, because even Dr. Sebi, the man that mysteriously, who was very healthy, who passed away, claimed that he cured a lot of stuff. And we went to the Supreme Court and won. So it's kind of like one of those things that we get controlled by the media a lot. To live fulfilled life, we need to keep creating lives. That's our lives about the dreams of God. On it merely as okay. The earth is flat. Okay. Do I believe in Jesus is the Son of God? Well, if you think about it, we're all sons of God, aren't we? Now, if you want me to say that, or if you ask me more of a question, is Jesus part of a mysterious birth to a quote unquote virgin woman? That I don't know. Do I believe there was a man that was named Jesus Christ who walked this earth? Absolutely. Do I believe he may have been more in tune to what it meant to be more spiritual and enlightened? Yeah. Because you got to think about it. Jesus was not the only Jesus on this earth. And in fact, we really don't know who Jesus is by the accounts we have in the Bible because it's being so manipulated and changed. So, I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation, though. Nipsey Hussle, he was going to make a documentary movie about Dr. Sebi before he passed, and then Nick Cannon said he was going to pick up the movie and finish it or do it, but he never did. I guess he got told not to by the powers that be, the same people that got him fired from all his jobs whenever he talked too much. Here's the thing about Mary. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I want to say I know. See, here's the thing, though. If you try to be impartial about the religious text, and if you look at the history of them of itself, you can see where they took out books and then how they change lines. In fact, you can go to your, I don't know what kind of city you live in. Let's say if you live in a larger city, you can go look at a old school Bible from the 1800s. It's much different from the Bible we have now. So they're constantly changing information for what we have our faith and believe in. And it's just not with the Bible. I'm just saying that because the topic is Christianity right now. Christianity right now. So I don't know what the truth is. I do believe there is a higher power. I do believe there are things we cannot control, but I also do know for a fact that they do use the Bible and religion to help control us and master truth and manipulate it for nefarious purposes a lot of the time. Now, I could be paraphrasing. If I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure, um, was it Jesus that said that heaven is within us and to know the Lord, you got to know yourself, something along those lines. So it's one of those things that, people cherry pick things that the Bible said or Jesus said to fit a narrative, but not paying attention to the whole picture. Just like how I find it funny when people they'll get upset about homosexuality, but they don't get upset about eating seafood. They'll get upset about um, their cherry pick like the line, honor your father and your mother, but your parents are not supposed to cause the kids strife or stress, something along those lines. So people always cherry pick from the Bible what they um, want to what's best benefit them. They'll just read one line and just forget the line right underneath it. So yeah, like I said, incomplete. See, 3PO, I appreciate that. So if your name being C3PO, how do you feel about Star Wars? So granted, I'm good. I hope you're doing good too. And nobody I haven't, at least not that I can think of. I was saying earlier, I'm from Florida, and like I was saying before, when it comes to Florida, is you could literally split it in half. Like the top part of Florida is very southern, the lower part of Florida is very northern, because the southern part of Florida is like a whole different damn near country. If you want me to be really honest with you, because it's like Spanish is the first language there, and then you'll find people that'll speak everything else but English. It seems like whenever you're in the South Florida, like South Florida and the Miami, West Palm Beach area, things of that nature. So Florida is pretty interesting that way. And then you have the northern part of Florida, where I guess you could say it's like an extended part of Alabama and Georgia, where it's just very, very country. So Florida is a very interesting state. No, I'm being for real. C3PO. There's no shade there. I was just legit asking, how do you feel about Star Wars? Because I've been a Star Wars fan my whole entire life. In fact, I even built my own lightsabers before. Um, and what I meant by that, like how you feel about Star Wars, for example, whenever Disney took over Star Wars, I really do feel like Disney ruined Star Wars. If I'm really being honest with you, um, I didn't like none of the movies. I don't like Ray. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't like Ray. It has nothing to do with her being a woman. I guess it's because that I read on the books and the comic books, and God, what was the it was I know Han Solo and Princess Leia, they had twins. They had three kids. The youngest kid was named Anakin. They had two twins. And the woman was named, was it Janice? I can't remember what the son name. Maybe it was Jason. It started with J. But he went to the dark side of the Force. She was on the light side of the Force, and then you had the youngest son, Anakin, who was kind of more like Anakin Skywalker, who had very strong connection to the Force. And then you had Luke Skywalker, who had a son named Ben Skywalker. They had such a great framework and rich history in Star Wars that Disney just completely messed up. So that's why I was asking, how do you feel about Star Wars? Because not too many people really know the history of Star Wars. They just kind of like jump on bandwagons from time to time. And then when you watch well, it was the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, I thought that was the biggest crop of crap ever because there's no way in the world. Dilbert, thank you for the wave. Also, if y'all haven't, go ahead and subscribe and like. I appreciate it. But just like with the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, that didn't make any sense to me just for the fact that there's no way in the world that Obi-Wan should have beat Vader. I'm sorry. There's nothing you convince me to make me say otherwise. Obi-Wan was disconnected from the Force and very rusty and weak. He could barely hold up the girl that was falling from the building, but somehow he was able to beat Darth Vader, the man who was hunting Jedi's for the last 10 years, even though he was quote unquote weaker because he had his limbs cut and everything. I just don't get it. Sassy Girl, thank you for being new. I hope you subscribe. And I'm just talking about random stuff. Like I said, it's a late night conversation. I can't go to sleep right now. I'm probably gonna be on here for a little bit longer until I get ready to try to force myself to go to sleep. What's up, man? Nothing much, Nick. But yeah. So I mean, if anybody else is a Star Wars fan, I want to hear your opinion too. I mean, that's one of the OGs right there. Went to the movie, saw Star Wars in 1977. Okay, so you definitely got me beat there. I definitely was not there in the movie theaters in 1977. I wasn't even alive yet then. But yeah. And then let's see. What was it? Kylo Ren? Kylo Ren just didn't make any sense to me. You would think Kylo Ren. Well, let's backtrack. Let's go back to Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker disconnecting himself from the Force and potentially trying to take out Kylo Ren didn't make any sense to me at all. It made zero sense because Luke Skywalker was always about hope and overcoming. He would have given to the urge because of a sorry visionary to try to take out his nephew. If anything, he would try to save him like he did his dad, which he did then. I swear, y'all get crazy in these comments. So that's fine though. So what about the Superman movie that's getting ready to come out? Duncan, you're right. The Clone Wars cartoon was great, and they explored the Force powers in a way that was more accurate to the lore in the books for the most part. You got to see how overpowered Mace Windu was. You got to see Anakin Skywalker truly fight, especially against Ventress. Um, the Clone Wars was great. It was great. Yeah, the new Superman movie, like the Justice League, the Snyder Cut was great. I watched all 4 hours of it, and I was hoping for a sequel of it. because I like the more realistic, kind of darker Superman that, he's a super being on Earth and there's going to be cloud damage and destruction. I like the fact that there is actual consequences. It's not him always overcoming and just coming out okay. And this new Superman movie, it's just seems like it's going to be a step backwards from the greatness that we had before. They introduce Ahsoka. Okay. Yeah, he, you know, it's just not Superman. It's the rest of the characters in there. The Green Lantern, he looks off. I know they said that it's more accurate to like the 1980s look of the Green Lantern. Okay, fine, whatever. Who else? Is it Mr. T? He looked okay. No, his name's not Mr. T. God, what was his name? I know he has a T Spears, but I can't think of his name right now. Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific. There we go. Mr. Terrific was one of those guys that looked okay. Even though on the Flash, the costumes looks pretty comparable. So, you know. So Ronan, just got a question. How are you a Ronin? Are you a Ronin by fan? Are you a Ronin by your lifestyle? What's going on with that? And C3PO, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. And like you wrote in there, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. I do these late night conversations when I can't sleep from time to time. Probably once a week, maybe more. Who knows? This whatever comes to mind. Nothing scripted. Unlike my actual channel, if you look at there, I have a lot of scripted stuff or official stuff that I try to do. But sometimes it's nice to talk. 10:43. I appreciate the subscribe. I really do. I can tell I'm getting a little tired now because my words are starting to slow down. So I might get off here soon and get ready to go to bed here shortly. Still got to work in the morning. Uh, Nobody's doing that, but um, they don't treat everybody like that. I don't see the point in being mean to people. To be honest with you, the world is already hard enough, and depending what kind of job you work in, you get enough jerks throughout the day. Let's be real here. If you work in customer service, you get jerks. If you're a waiter, which is part of customer service, you get jerks. If you work in a hospital, you get jerks. I mean, if you're a police officer, 9 times out of 10, you could be the jerk, but you also get jerks too. There's just jerks all over the place. You don't always got to go online to be, you're a prison guard, and your blood pressure must be through the roof. I had a friend that was a prison guard, childhood friend. He did it for like 5 years and he quit. I'm surprised he did it that long. He said he used to get spit on, pissed on. He just used to He had to break up fights. He got hurt, come on bruised sometimes. So I have a lot of respect for prison guards. He used to tell me horror stories all the time. I don't know how he did it. All right, that works. Oh, Moon Girl overlooked you. Hey, Moon Girl. Thank you for the wave. I appreciate it. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm getting tired. If you all are new subscribers, Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have a great night. And thanks for talking with me, even to the trolls, too. All right. You guys have a good night. Thank you. Bye.